Again, it was... Now here's the streak here. It was never like that. Never. And then WrestleMania 16, he just like 10, he takes it off because he has surgery. He's healing up from it, healing up from injury. WrestleMania 17, he faces in the first of 3 WrestleMania matches with Triple H, in what many consider a classic in WrestleMania lore. At WrestleMania 17, WrestleMania 18, he takes on Ric Flair in a no disqualification match, and despite the interference from Arn Anderson, despite being bloodied by Rick a little bit, he wins. And then that, even I think the year prior, but that is when they start acknowledging the streak. Around that time, 17 and 18, they start acknowledging the streak, saying he's undefeated. He's not been beaten at WrestleMania. Not once. Not once had he ever been beaten. And then the following year, WrestleMania 19, in the second match of the card, handicap-wise, he beats A-Train and Big Show. And what's funny about that is that match originally was supposed to be a tag match with someone that I will admit was green as heck, Nathan Jones, who I don't know why the WWA, World Wrestling All-Stars, even made him the world champion, because he wasn't ready. And yet he was going to be Taker's partner at WrestleMania 19. And yet Taker still won. The following year, WrestleMania 20, he beats Kane for the second time. But he does it in a way to Kane's, where he basically shows Kane, hey, I'm not the same guy you buried alive at the Survivor Series the year before. No, I'm back to being the dead man. And you're going to get your ass kicked now. And then WrestleMania 21. WrestleMania 21 is when the doubts start to crawl into people's heads. Can Undertaker be beaten now? Because he's not just going against people that are in their prime like he is. People that he's been around. But now he's going up against guys younger than him. If not more talented in ring-wise than Taker at that time. Or considered to be more talented at that time in ring-wise than Taker. 21, he went up against Randy Orton. And people thought Randy could be the one. But Randy lost. Great match, but he lost. The following year, a casket match. Mark Henry, the world's strongest man. We're back to the intimidating guys. The guys that can match power and maybe prove dominance over Taker. And Mark Henry lost. WrestleMania 24. Or WrestleMania 23, I should say. He beats Edge in the main event of WrestleMania that year. He become World Heavyweight Champion. Yes, this match. This match closed out the show. I think it closed out the show. I'm not really sure. But he beat Edge to become World Champion. And then the following year, WrestleMania 24. Well, actually, it was WrestleMania 23, I should say. I skipped one. He beats Batista in the mid-card main event of WrestleMania 23 to become champion. And then does the same thing in the actual main event at WrestleMania 24 against Edge. And then WrestleMania 25, we get the classic between him and Shawn Michaels. And he beats Shawn Michaels in a classic. And then the following year, and that's in the mid-card, and nobody could follow it. And then the following year, they close it out. Undertaker against Michaels. Michaels' career on the line. And again, great match. Probably not on par as the match before. And yet, Taker wins again. And get this. Think about this so far. He's only missed 2 WrestleManias. Since WrestleMania 17, up to that point, he's not missed one. That's 9 Manias in a row. Then WrestleMania 27 comes around. The second of his trilogy matches against Triple H. Physical match. Taker has to be wheeled out on a stretcher or on a mobile, on a cart, because of the physical toll he went through even in victory. And that's 10 Manias in a row and he hasn't missed. And yet, despite that physical toll it took on his body, he came back the following year. And for the 11th WrestleMania in a row he's been involved in, he beats Triple H again. And when he beats Triple H again, he's 20-0. And then the following year after that, he takes on CM Punk in what could be arguably CM Punk's biggest match. And CM Punk takes him to the limit in a way, but in the end, Taker beats CM Punk. And then WrestleMania 30. That's 12 WrestleManias the Taker has not missed since 16. 12 WrestleMania. 11 WrestleManias. He has not missed since 16. Not 11, but... Yeah, 12. Yeah, 12 WrestleManias. He has not missed since 16. And then we get to WrestleMania 30. And he loses to Brock Lesnar. And the streak dies. And what's funny is, it was up to the last. It was to the last second. The last second that people were debating and thinking, should we end the streak? Do we need to end the streak? Do we end it? And they never. And it was at that last moment, that last second, they said yes. Go ahead, end the streak. And it happened. And Taker, believe it or not, I think was in on it. He said, go ahead, do it. Taker was probably thinking, hey, this could be it. Why not just go out and put Brock over? But no. He somehow got talked into coming back for another one. The storyline is he had to redeem himself. So who's he go up against the following year? Bray Wyatt. And he beats Bray Wyatt. And a lot of people are a little mad about that because they're thinking, why does it take... The streak is over. Why does it Taker just start putting guys over? The younger talent. Because he's the freaking Undertaker. And for anybody like him in his position after a loss to someone like Brock at the 30th anniversary of Mania, storyline wise, you're going to want to redeem yourself even if it's against someone that's trying to take your place. And then, last year's WrestleMania, Shane McMahon, Hell in a Cell, second Hell in a Cell match at Mania, goes for a half hour. And you're thinking Shane's going to do what Brock did. He's going to beat him. Because there were moments in that match you thought Shane could do it. I mean, heck, Shane came off the freaking Hell in a Cell. But in the end, Undertaker beat Shane. It took a physical toll on both men, but he beat him. And what was funny is Taker didn't stop wrestling after that last year. He continued on, I think, for a few more matches. And then we got WrestleMania this year, Roman Reigns. And you're thinking, well, if it's positioned in the middle of the card, Taker's going to win. He can't lose in the middle of the card. This is his last match. But yet, as you're watching Mania, and you're realizing, oh crap, it is going to be the last match, just like they've been speculating, then you know, one, what you don't want to see happen is going to happen, and two, this is it. And indeed, as ugly as the match was in the eyes of many people, in the eyes of many people, as ugly as it was, it told the story, as I said in my review. It told the story of how Taker was not going to give up his yard willingly. That he wanted Roman to push him to limits he's never been to, and basically earn his right to claim ownership over that ring, over that yard. And whether you like Roman Reigns or you didn't, that's exactly what happened. Roman Reigns beat The Undertaker and is now the big dog in the yard. Some people are still upset about that. And I just cannot accept the fact that this is it. Because let me put a bit of reality into this. Let me put a bit of reality in this finality of what happened last night. As emotional and sad as it is, when an athlete takes their uniform off and puts it down in the center of the field, or the center of the rink, or the center of the ice rink, or the center of the basketball court, and then they take their helmet and they put that down alongside it, and maybe even go as far as take off the cleats and the gloves, and they put that down too. They are symbolizing by doing so that that's it. They are done. It is done. It is over. The career is done. It's time for them to move on. Many sports athletes have done that. Many athletes in wrestling, in pro wrestling, in MMA, in boxing have done that. And the reason they do it is because its symbolism is to say, yes, my time is done. I've served my time. I've given my life to you, to this business. So my time is over. It's time for me to move on and to ride into the sunset. It's kind of like with Triple H. You know, eventually he's going to have one last match at Mania himself. And that he's going to take that sledgehammer that has become an iconic symbol of his, and he's going to place it down in the middle of the ring. And he's going to signify it's over. You know, one day that John Cena is not going to do a one armband put in the middle of the ring kind of, salute saying, hey, I'm going to go away for a while. No. One day John Cena is going to take both armbands. He's going to take his hat. He's going to take his t-shirt and he's going to place it all in the middle of the ring and say, that's it. I'm done. The truth is, for athletes, for athletes of all kinds, sports entertainers, fighters, I think Jeff Siegel said it best. Father Time catches up to them. He catches up to all of us. But in reality, we don't want it to happen. We don't want Father Time to catch up with us. We don't want to grow old. We don't want to see those that we look up to, we cheer for. We look forward to seeing. Every year or every other month or every 6, 7, 8 months. Or every one time a year, we don't want to have to think that next year or 6 months from now or even like today, 24 hours later, we're not going to see him ever again. What makes the finality of what happened last night even more real is after Taker took his gloves, his jacket, and his hat off and placed them in the middle of the ring. He walked out of the ring and went over and kissed his wife, Michelle McCool. And he walked up that ramp. And he's holding his hand up high, and you hear the thunder and lightning one last time. And all of a sudden the camera's panning up. You're seeing all the smoke and everything as Undertaker is descending down the platform underneath the 80-yard walkway. You're seeing him descend down, and then all the lights in the stadium go out. And the traditional Undertaker music and bells and gong, they change the tone to a tolling of the bell. And I'm not talking a 10 bell tolling when somebody passes, but a 2 bell, 3 bell tolling. And when I heard that, I was like, oh my God. That's signifying that this is it. That 2 bell, 3 bell tolling, that's basically reserved, along with 7 or 8 more bell tollings for someone that passes. That pretty much, to me, put the stamp on the reality of, this is it. Taker's done. His career's over. And what makes this even more of a reality is, usually when WrestleMania ends and the fans are gone and all that remains is the crew, usually when people leave the stuff in the ring, it's a symbolism of saying, hey, I'm going to go away for a while, but I'll be back. The crew usually would take that item and give it back to said person, or they'll put it away somewhere to give back to said person later down the line. But no. In this case, and this has been making social media, making the rounds around social media all day. When they started tearing things down, when they started tearing down the WrestleMania sets from the chairs to the stage itself, to the lighting, they didn't remove, the production crew, the ring crew, they didn't touch Taker's stuff. They left it where he left it. They left it where it was. They didn't touch it until they were getting ready to take the ring down. And that's probably when they carefully removed it. But like I said, they didn't touch it. They left it until they were ready to tear down the ring. And that was it. And as far as I know, that's never been done. It's never. That shows you the respect that they have and the reality that's sitting in on them at WWE and that production crew that's helped Taker with his pyro and stuff and everything else. The reality's sitting down on them. It's sitting down on them right now like, last night was it. It's over. I can tell you this. I grew up on Undertaker. I, like a lot of kids, was surprised, shocked at how big he was when he debuted. Yeah, I like a lot of kids was upset when he beat Hulk Hogan for the championship. But I never thought that throughout I never thought honestly, over 36 years, 36 years, well not 36, but for 26 years, I'd still be watching him. From the day he debuted to last night. 26 years. A quarter of a century. Nearly 2.5 decades in this business. For a man.